Alexander, hi. Sarah from the Upcoming in the UK. I mean, with the Holdovers, you seem to want to transport viewers back to the 1970s, not just with the setting, but the film to feel like it was made there. And why was that important to you, that era?
Why is the 70s an important era in cinema for me? Well, maybe because I was a teenager then. You know, I'm 62 now. I graduated from high school in 1979, and my friends and I were movie crazy that entire decade and film buffs. So those were the films that were imprinted on me as being good commercial adult American films. We didn't know we were living in a golden age of the last period of light. Now they're considered art films, but I've still been trying to make those films.
And in the past, you've worked on your own scripts with the likes of Sideways, not with this one. How was that process different for you, and did you take that decision?
You know, even though I don't have screenwriting credit on this film, I was still very much involved with the screenwriter. I gave him the idea, and we kind of worked out the basic mechanics of the story together. Of course, I do a little bit of rewriting toward the end. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he gave me the wonderful experience of directing a writer. You know, I direct all the other artists and technicians on the film, and now I got to do that with a writer.
And what a phenomenal cast, reuniting, with Paul. So what was it like putting these three together, and how does it feel to see her being credited with, with this award?
Yeah, you asked about the two most important parts of narrative films, I think, which is the screenplay and the casting. So the screenplay, I was involved with David Hemmingson, and then all I know is that I put a lot of time into casting. Paul was a fait accompli, but the other two, Davine and Dominic Sessa, who plays the young man, I just feel lucky to have found them. They just felt right. It's hard to say, they just felt right. We had Latin in the script, and I did tell the writer, we have to get Greek in there too, because not so much because I care because I'm a Greek, but it would be appropriate for that teacher to speak Latin and Greek. About the importance of education. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I showed the film in Lyon about 3 weeks ago, Thierry Frémaux's other festival, the Festival Lumière. And the screening of the film fell precisely on the anniversary of the assassination of a teacher 3 years previously in France, a famous case. And when introducing the film, Thierry said, I like this film both for its narrative and humorous and sentimental qualities, but also that it gives glory and respect to a teacher, and that we don't have enough films these days that do that. I'm just passing that along. The other thing I have to say is education is the biggest instrument we have against ignorance, because ignorance leads to fascism and war. The novelist who wrote the book Election, in which the movie was based 25 years ago, has written a sequel. My co-writer Jim Taylor and I are discussing now what we can do with it. We can't adapt it exactly. It would need some reimagining for a successful adaptation, so we don't know yet. One of the reasons I just acquired my Greek citizenship was precisely to do that. A citizenship doesn't really do anything unless you're going to work with it. So now I can work in the EU and in Greece, and my film can qualify for state funding. What Election, and it's this one, The Holdovers, Taperia tu Kimona, what they have in common is that in both of them there's a teacher who in the beginning of the film espouses very high-minded ideals about ethics and morals and what a good person does. By the end of the movie, he violates that very code of conduct in Election for an ignoble reason, and in this one for a noble reason. Yes, sometimes we have to lie to tell the truth. Here's what I think is cool, that the focus of, I won't say the festival as a whole, but of the competition has narrowed to first and second feature films, which is so encouraging to young filmmakers. And I know that there's an impulse, a mission to encourage Moroccan filmmakers, and I think that's really cool. And I've heard there's some really good Moroccan films. So all young making films is so hard that Yes, we as young filmmakers need all the encouragement we can get. I think expectations in life are dangerous. We have hopes, we aspire, but to expect is very difficult. What I aspire to, what I hope is simply that the audience, my collaborators and I made the film with love, and I hope people in the audience feel the love with which we made it.